So, are we gonna celebrate Summerween?
For summer to fucking ween.
So, I mean,
What,
you just said two things there, then I like them both.
Oh, Jesus.
Summerween and Summerween. Ween is one of my favorite bands of all time. They're going to be here August 6th, but they're going to be at a stupid location, and it's real expensive, so I don't know if I'm going or not. They're going to be at the Paramount.
Oh, okay.
But I think, and we'll see.
It's your favorite, so I feel like you have to go.
They're so good. I have a history. I'm not going to go into it here.
And she likes weed, guys.
But there's a history. There was some. I got on the guest list.
She knew them at one point.
At one point,
one time, she was kind of a big deal.
It was kind of a big deal.
People knew her. We know how I feel about seasons and holidays, so I would not like to celebrate Summerween because summertime, and it is not. That is the 4th of July. Feel like the 4th of July. Makes me want to
feel like the 4th of July.
Did I just order a t-shirt that says that? I mean, I made us ones last year.
Makes me want a hot dog real bad.
But it has a picture of that actress on it, whatever her name is. I can't remember.
I can't remember at the moment, too, but that is so good. I have my shirt still. I'm going to wear it for Halloween.
I have mine, too. So. Halloween?
Yep. 4th of July.
Dun, 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 dun. All right. We would just like to first of all say thank you to everyone who's been sending in jokes because people have actually been sending them in and it makes us so freaking happy. As the specific, well, I am not the only joke getter, but like the one who's lately been on the jokes, I just appreciate it truly.
The joke train.
Because it makes it so that I'm not having to like really research because sometimes it delays us a lot. So this was sent in by Cass and she sent us a couple of solid dad jokes, like real good dad jokes. But this one, she said, reminded her of Mr. Boo Boo. And I feel like when everyone... Mr. Boo Boo. For those who don't know, that's my husband, Tex. And once you hear this, if you know, you know.
Oh.
You'll know.
So that means we're doing a really good job at portraying him on the pod.
Yeah, as a man who loves two things in life. Well,
Star Wars and Harry Potter.
He likes one more thing too, but I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I was gonna go beer.
I was gonna say you.
We'll give him 4 things. Okay, so now that we have that established, what did Harry Potter say when he was filling up his car?
No idea.
Expensive petroleum.
I mean, it's true. It's true, man.
It is true. That was a good one.
Gosh.
How much did that remind you of that?
Yeah.
Did you just see something?
Yeah, twice.
What is it? It just went across the screen. It was white.
And then I saw it over there.
But what is it? Is it a feather? Is there an orb like what we were just talking about? Because that fucking freaks me out.
Yeah, but then I saw it in the air. And then it went away. Oh, man.
Fucking stuck.
Tangled. And we're back.
So we just had a very interesting thing happen.
Yeah, we just saw something like float across the screen. And then I was looking at it. And then she was looking at it. And then I saw it like in the air. And then it went poof.
I watched it go across like the screen on the computer.
Like you could see it in the recording. But then I saw it hang. I thought it was a floaty in my eyeball.
Yeah, it was something white. And it's funny because we're doing 2 episodes tonight. Yeah. And we had just talked about orbs. Mm-hmm. Not that I think that was an orb, but I also don't know.
No, but I don't know what it was because I saw it hanging.
Oh, it's recording what we're saying.
Oh, I mean, that's
interesting.
Interesting.
That was weird. Well, we're going to have to watch that back and maybe we'll report back to you. You'll see it on the social medias later on the interwebs.
Well, we're going to get started because I want to try the cider. So, hello and welcome to Lunatic Soup, the podcast where we go into all things wild, weird, and unknown. We're your host, Meg.
And I'm Raina, ready to brew up some lunatic soup.
Let's go.
Okay, we got a One Tree Hard Cider.
I love them.
I know. They actually make some really good.
They're in Spokane, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And they, like, over Christmas time, we did one of their, we still have one, the snow globe.
I still have 2.
Do you?
I still have 2.
It has
we should do Christmas in July.
I'd be down for that.
You know what? Fuck off. I don't cuss very often at you, but this time I am. You just gave me shit for Summerween, and now you're saying Christmas in July is okay?
I feel like it's more acceptable. It's my favorite holiday. So
your favorite holiday is valid and mine's not?
Yeah, pretty much. You want to carve watermelons? You want to carve a watermelon?
Yeah, and I'm gonna. Like, watch me.
I mean, okay, I'll do it with you because it doesn't. I realize that I may be wrong in this situation by telling you
that you're just trying to buckle down is what you're doing.
No, I'm saying I'm wrong. I'm saying I'm wrong.
Guys, did you hear that?
I said I'm wrong.
It's recorded. It's recorded.
This one time I'm wrong. One time.
It makes me happy.
Fuck off. Let's drink.
All right. So I found this at our local Costco, and I find a lot of One Tree ciders.
They do, and they have like the seasonal ones, which I love.
Well, that's what I love. Like, I mean, I'm sure I would recognize their regular ciders, but I always get their seasonal ones just as they go.
It's just what's at Costco, and I mean, we got lots of kids, so we're at Costco a lot.
A lot. At least once a week, sometimes more. One Tree hard cider from Spokane, Washington. This is watermelon.
Tell the people the song that you were singing when we said watermelon, and I'll tell what I was singing, which is also it should have been the opposite.
I was going watermelon sugar high,
and I was going down by the bay where the watermelons grow. Anyways, watermelon's like my favorite flavor. Yeah, I don't love watermelon itself. I like it. It has to be like a good one, though.
Well, the real thing compared to flavoring is very different. Like bananas, great. Banana flavoring.
Oh, yes, agreed.
Yeah, but I like watermelon. Well, if it's good watermelon.
Yeah,
it's the watermelon.
Cherry flavored things are not my favorite because sometimes
they taste like medicine.
Yeah, because that's where
I can't eat cherries.
You don't like cherries?
I can't eat them. I'm allergic. I'm allergic to pitted fruit. Can't eat peaches. Apricots.
You can eat an apricot.
I can't eat an apricot.
But you can drink it.
I will, because once it's got heat on it, I'm good.
Oh, because it's like apples. Like they need to be cooked. Got it. All right. Well, let's do it. I think she just makes that shit up for something.
Probably. I mean, you want to test it? You want to see me get hives all over my mouth?
Not really, but also kind of.
Jackass.
I'm joking.
Oh, this is a big can.
Oh, she a big boy.
I'm not sure about the smell.
Oh, it's one of those.
It's one of the. No, I'm not.
We had this with a blackberry one time. I don't think it was One Tree that it was that blackberry one, and it smelled like gym socks or something, or stinky boys.
This is not as gym.
Oh no, that's not. No, that's not bad.
It's a very pretty peach color.
Sorry, I took a sip before you did. Good.
Oh, okay.
It's tart.
It's very tart. It's kind of like the watermelon candy that you get, but not as sugary, not as sweet. It's more like an aftertaste of that watermelon-y flavor.
I actually feel like it tastes more like actual watermelon than it does watermelon flavored to me. Like I get the aftertaste to me is what it tastes like, what watermelon tastes like when it is.
It's a lot lighter than I anticipated.
Yeah. It reminds me of a watermelon that's almost to the point of being past due.
Oh, interesting.
You don't taste that?
I like it.
I like it.
It's not over sweet. It's something different.
It is something different. And it's a 6.8% ABV.
So, yeah, and these were the big cans. These cans are 473 mil. Was that 16 ounces? Something like that.
You do the math, not me.
Maths. I don't know. I think that's about a 16-ounce can.
She's not mathin' over here.
Math's not mathin'.
Math is not mathin'.
So...
what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about the Perron family. Do you know what the Perron family like?
So I know. The second you say what they're from, I know I'm gonna know it because I know it's from like there's a movie made about them, but I cannot off the top of my head but the second you were like Perron family, I knew. I was like, okay, it's a movie that I've seen and it's a haunted something. Correct?
Yeah, and we can go stay there if we want.
Is it Shining?
Nope.
Is it Perron family? Oh, it's it's motherfucker brain.
That's not it.
Nope, but it's gonna go there. The really haunted place, supposedly. The one with the
yes.
It's not getting there. The
Conjuring
house. There it is. I was like, but this is about the Perron family, not the Conjuring.
It's about the Perron family. If you want to watch the movie, go watch the movie.
That's what she said. You heard it. Go watch the movie.
Why'd you say it like that?
Because you're saying if you want to watch the movie, go watch the movie.
Go watch the movie.
This isn't the movie.
This isn't the movie.
This is the people.
We all know about the Conjuring universe and the movies that depict the haunted horrors of the home in Rhode Island. And the Conjuring movies are different hauntings that have a link. We'll talk about that later.
I did not realize it was in Rhode Island.
Conjuring houses in Rhode Island.
Did not realize that.
So this particular movie is based on a real family, the Perron family, who moved to the house in 1971. Andrea Perron is the oldest daughter, who was a teenager at the time, and she has written a series of 3 books that were published beginning in 2011 called House of Darkness, House of Light.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun. So the home is located at 1677 Round Top Road in Burrillville, Rhode Island. However, the home, that's the address. The home is in Harrisville, Rhode Island. You know how, like, yeah.
Yeah.
It is a nearly 300-year-old home. And it was just another farmhouse until 2013 when the Conjuring universe of films brought attention to the horrific and haunted story, which now puts the home as one of the most haunted places in America.
Interesting.
So it's not that long
It's
ago.
not, but I also have like questions about it just because we've done a few things, been to some other podcast shows where people have gone and done some research, and I don't feel like they have those experiences that you really like hear about from this lady, which is interesting.
I've got opinions. Warning. I've got some opinions.
Oh, you were texting me about some opinions earlier today.
I've got some opinions about this. Not just opinions.
They make Meg big mad.
Big mad.
Big mad.
Big mad.
Certain people make her big mad. One's Dildo Baggins, but this has nothing to do with him.
Okay, but you know what? Dildo Baggins.
Zach Baggins for those new listeners.
If he were to walk through that door, I would probably start blushing and be like, just start giggling because I think he's in on it.
I disagree.
I think he's in on it. I think he knows how much of a D-bag he lets himself look like. You don't think so?
I think that he might play into it a little bit, but I think he is a cocky motherfucker. I do not for a second think that he would be a nice, pleasant human to be around. Just saying.
Oh.
My big opinion.
I mean, we got him. We got him.
How often am I right with these things, though?
I mean, you are a pretty good judge of character. So
I feel like that's the
you
vibe I get.
You could be wrong with this one. I like to think the best in people. I'm still going to make fun because whoever he portrays himself to be is absolutely...
Can I give the reason why I am more trained in this expertise than you are?
Yes, Dr. Edmonds.
I went to college. You went to college as well, obviously. Your mom goes to college. But I was in a sorority and hung out with frat boys. He is the epitome of a douchebag frat boy.
I don't have experience with frat boys.
I will say,
thank God.
Not everyone is a douchebag frat boy. I had plenty of frat guy friends who were not douchebags at all. Well, but they had their douchebag moments. I'm not gonna lie. It is pretty, and he reminds me of an arrogant douchebag frat boy. And there's a few other people that men that we have encountered that I have said to you that give off that same energy, and I'm,
okay. Well,
I'm just saying.
Maybe one day we'll find out.
I am more trained in the douchebag detector than you are.
A DB? No, that stands for down bitch. That's a good thing.
Yeah, no, douchebag detector.
Douchebag detector.
That's DBD. DBD, douchebag detector. It's like how some people have like a gaydar, like they can tell that people are gay or do whatever.
Yeah.
I can pick a douchebag out of anywhere.
Just out of a room. Like
I can look at him and be like, that guy's a fucking douchebag.
Yep. Twat waffle, if you will.
Yeah, twat waffle.
Douche canoe.
Douche canoe. Like when I saw my husband, I was like, fucking douchebag. And then I fell in love with him, and
how'd that turn out?
I mean, he's here, so just kidding.
People can change.
He's not a full douchebag, but he has his moments. I mean, he does. Everyone does.
I'm staying silent on the subject.
We love him.
We love you.
Love you, babe. You're not a full douche canoe. Just kidding. You're not one at all. He is a good guy.
Just a kayak.
But he also was like a fucking dumb 25-year-old when we met. Like that kid, people around that age, 9 times out of 10, men, douchebags.
I had 2 kids by the time I was 25.
Holy balls.
3 kids by 27.
Jesus.
I know something's wrong with me. I mean, I like them.
Well, I mean, there's a lot wrong with you. That's nothing to do with you having children early in life.
So many things. Okay.
Let's get into it. Anyways.
Because of the franchise, the owner of the home at the time officially changed the name of the place to the Conjuring House. They were leaning in, man. Leaning. I mean, you might as well.
They saw the dollar bills and they're not dumb.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah,
cha-ching.
I mean, but really though, that's...
I mean, the house has changed hands a lot since then. And now you can actually go and stay. My mother-in-law has gone there multiple times. We have friends that are kind of in this realm of paranormal podcasting that have gone and stayed there. We have talked to people that have gone and done investigations there. Like,
I don't know that.
I would go and I would do a late night. I don't think I would spend the night.
We know people who did an overnight thing there, but I don't feel like they got anything like tangible. I don't think they did.
I would go and do a late night and try to find something. Like, I've seen video of like doors opening and closing and things like that, and like balls rolling out of closets, and because they're said to be little kids that play there. You want to talk to somebody that knows about the Conjuring house? Talk to my oldest daughter. She was telling me things while I was writing this episode.
Believe it. I also know that we have gone to like super haunted places and gotten nothing. It happens when it happens. And I think that's the craziest thing about like investigating is like you can't make anyone do anything. You can't, when the ghosties don't want to.
You can't just say, come at me, bro.
Or you could.
You could and see what happens.
Come at me, bro.
So, back to the home that we're talking about. It is known as the Old Arnold Estate, and it was built around 1736. But what is the true story of the house and the Perron family? Because you have the movie, you have all of this, and, a movie is Hollywood. So,
well, yeah, everything is dramatized and blown up and...
So like I said before, the family bought the house in 1971, and the home is a 14-room historic farmhouse on 200 acres. The home was owned by the Arnold family for 8 generations. Many members of the family are rumored to have died in the house due to unusual circumstances such as drowning, suicide, and murder. 2 suicides are rumored, one of an 11-year-old boy in the home and another of someone in the tree out front. Like, in the movie poster, you see the tree out front and there's like a
I'll be honest, I don't know that I've ever seen the movies.
I've never seen the movies. I started watching it the other day because I'm like, it's a whole franchise. Like, and the Nun goes into it. My second daughter, a little weirdo, she's been asking to watch the Nun movies. And I'm like, I can't let her watch a movie until I watch it. And so I'm like, psyching myself up here. Oh. And I started the other day and then the little ones came in, so I had to stop it. But she wants to watch these movies.
Don't let her hear my nun joke I just posted.
No. But then I'm like, Dad, have you seen any of these movies? My second wants to watch these movies, and he's like, he sent me an article of the good, like, okay movies for kids to watch. Freaking Bubba Hotep was on it, and I'm like, Dad, you're fired. You are fired.
What is that? I don't even know what that is. Bubba Hotep.
Elvis didn't die. He's in a nursing home.
Okay.
And JFK also didn't die. He is also in the nursing home, but they dyed his skin black. And there's a mummy that goes around the nursing home and sucks your soul out of your butthole.
Wow. Well, that was ooh, I wasn't expecting that. Okay.
So that's the synopsis of Bubba Hotep. Let's watch it.
It's the butt stuff that really gets me.
It's with Bruce Campbell, who did like the Evil Dead.
No idea. But
no. Okay.
Anyways. Wow.
Anywho.
Yeah. Your dad's cut off from. No.
You're fired.
You're fired.
You're fired. So there was also an 11-year-old girl who was rumored to have been murdered in the home, and 2 others were drowned in a nearby lake. 4 adult members are said to have froze to death outside. And then there's old Mrs. Arnold, who is said to have died by a slit in her neck, and they're not sure if that was self-inflicted or not.
Which I've heard about, seeing that specific being. Because I think I've watched trying to remember if I've watched documentaries or if it was from that podcast show that we went to where I saw more about it, but I feel like I've seen documentaries about it.
It's a pretty common story.
Well, it is, but we know that I just avoid this kind of shit. Like, it freaks me out.
You met me.
And here we are.
Here we are. The Perron family moved into the home, and when they did, they were giving it one piece of advice. The prior owner said, "For the sake of your family, leave the lights on at night." Dun, dun, dun.
You're given that advice. Could you imagine moving into a new house and they leave you a letter and they're like,
leave the lights on at night? But I feel like just being who I am, if I were to go through a house, I'd be able to feel pretty quickly if there was something nefarious there.
I feel like a lot of people actually can. They just don't.
Yeah.
They don't like to register or admit it.
You get the willies.
Well, but also like, are you ever standing there and feel like someone's standing behind you, but you know that no one's there? Mm-hmm. Like that.
Well, that happened in my house today.
Guys, that means someone's standing behind you. It's just not a human currently. They're just
at one point.
It's a spirit of some sort. But like, I think what people don't realize a lot is like the feeling that you get, or like the feeling of being watched, the feeling of this. And obviously sometimes maybe you are being watched by like a stalker or something. I'm not saying that that's not happening.
Oh, have you seen the movie or the TV show The Watcher on Netflix?
I know what it is. I've never seen it.
That story is crazy.
Is that like
it's true.
But stalker?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah. And they have no idea. Like still. Watch the show. It's a crazy story.
No.
Okay. Or don't.
But the point of the story is that if you ever feel like you saw something out of the corner of your eye, or you feel like you see, or you're feeling someone behind you, next to you, like you feel that is what, when we say we feel things, that's what that is.
Don't look.
Or do. Just look. Or just tell them to kindly go away. Say, please stop, you're freaking me out. That's what I like to yell sometimes.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
Get out!
Motherfucker.
Like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
The paranormal activity began almost immediately after the family moved in. The parents consisted of 5 daughters, Andrea, Nancy, Christine, Cindy, and April, and the parents, Roger and Caroline. Andrea is probably the most prominent one that you will hear. She's the one that's written books. She's the one that will do interviews. Mm-hmm. Not that the other ones don't, but not as much.
Yeah.
At first, the activity and spirits that interacted with the family seemed fine. There was a lot of activity, but it was nothing very nefarious. One spirit was said to be that of Mrs. Arnold, who would tuck the girls into bed at night and kiss them on the forehead.
She's one with the
slit
neck.
throat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Johnny Arnold was another spirit, and he's said to be the spirit of a young boy who hung himself in the mid-1700s in the home. The girls loved this spirit and nicknamed him Manny. He would play with their toys and watch the girls from the window while they played outside. Then there was the sweeping spirit, and this spirit would only be heard from the other room. They would hear the sweeping sound, and then when they would go into that room, they'd see a broom like leaning on the wall, and then a swept pile of dirt.
Interesting.
I mean,
when it comes to my house.
I got a couple of pets, a lot of kids. I need some sweeping done.
I mean, I've talked about, there was a TikTok account for a while. She had a ghost down in her laundry room, and she'd go down there and she'd call him Jerry.
Hey, Jerry.
If you're going to fuck with shit, at least do my fucking laundry.
Do something.
If you're going to turn on the thing.
Dust.
Do anything. If a ghosty wants to come do my dishes.
Load the dishes. At least load them up at night. I'll put them away in the morning, or vice versa.
Or just, sweep, vacuum.
Tidy up a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, we all got to pay rent in some way.
I mean, really, if you're going to be here,
honestly,
be productive.
Right?
Yeah.
Why can't we all just live together?
I mean, I don't know.
Caroline would report hearing strange sounds regularly, like metal scraping sound. So I read Carolyn and Caroline.
Okay.
Multiple, like in
so
different.
I've heard it Carolyn.
Carolyn. Okay.
How is it spelled? Like,
so I've seen it spelled both ways.
Interesting.
Carolyn and INE. So let's say Carolyn. I'm just gonna say Carolyn.
I feel like that's the one
I
heard.
saw it both ways when I was reading different articles.
And if you think we're wrong,
please tell us and tell us how stupid we are.
Or
and
you could politely tell us, and don't tell us that
let's say Carolyn.
Birth control was invented because of us. Which,
oh my God,
rude! It was invented way before of us.
Way before. Not because of us.
God,
do your research.
I was about to say something so inappropriate, but I just decided not to.
Just let that one fly.
What if I said it?
Say it. Okay, you know what's bad when she makes that face.
Well, it's only because I could say it, but it would encompass both of our mothers, and I just feel like it's a little appropriate right now. Inappropriate
because my mom died.
Your mom died. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Where are we at? Carolyn would report hearing strange sounds regularly, like metal scraping sounds in the kitchen, and go in and find no one's there. Again, do the damn dishes. This went on for a while, and they kind of lived harmoniously with the spirits of the home.
Nothing weird was going on.
Nothing. I mean, weird, but not bad. But then things started taking a turn for the worse, and the spirits began to be more and more malevolent. I keep leaning. There was a rotting flesh spirit. When this spirit visited, it would be around 5:15 in the morning, and whomever decided to visit would have the smell of rotting flesh join them, waking them up, and their bed would lift up off the floor. It would like go under the bed, lift the bed off the floor, and kind of topple out. They done tumped over the bed.
And the smell of
Rotting flesh. Rotting flesh.
I don't know that I've ever smelled rotting flesh, honestly. Like, or maybe a dead animal, but like not like.
I have. Okay, story time. So the other day, it was actually really scary. My youngest came down, Mom, I'm bleeding.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was actually terrifying. And I almost called 911. She had blood all over her. It turns out it was just a bloody nose.
It looked like a murder scene.
It looked like a murder scene. And the smell, like when they say the smell of blood and that irony smell, I mean, there was so much blood.
But that's not rotting flesh.
That's not rotting flesh, but that organic smell.
So I've had that. I had a bloody nose like that one time too, where it would not stop, and it was like, it was bad. Like it was really, and then the clots were coming out of my nose.
That was happening with my youngest too. It was like terrifying.
Yeah.
She's fine. She's totally fine, but it was terrifying.
Mine happened. We were in Polton Bay.
Oh,
and I thought
nowhere to go.
I was dying. I was like, what the fuck? Anyways, but yeah, that's yeah. The smell of blood is when you smell like a lot of blood. That's scary.
Like you can smell it. So I don't like rotting flesh. Like I've smelled dead animals and stuff. But
I've just heard rotting flesh is like something you'll never ever like finding like a corpse, a dead person, a dead something. It's not good. Anyways, back to the rotting flesh person yeeting you out of your bed.
Yeah, so it would yeet you out of your bed. Like,
perfect.
Boom. The parents claimed that there was a demonic force in the house that would pull on the girls' hair and kind of pull their little feetsies at night while they were in bed. That's why you always cover. I don't care how hot it is. You cover up at night.
My feet have to air.
You're a psychopath.
My feet dangle.
You're what?
They dangle.
There's something wrong with you.
And then if I'm too hot, they gotta. If it's very cold outside, they'll stay inside. But like my feet need to be out. Like if I am in a hotel bed and everything's like tucked tightly, I cannot. I have to push my feet through.
Tucked or untucked?
Bed?
Tucked or untucked? You don't know what I'm referencing.
No. What is it?
Seinfeld.
No.
Tucked or untucked?
Mr. Boo Boo will know.
He probably already said it in the car.
He probably fucking did. And he's like, duh. No, I gotta have my feetsies out for the ghosties to.
There's something so wrong with that.
But that's like people who sleep with socks. I can't sleep with socks on.
Oh, my daughter does that. It's weird.
But if I am like freezing to my core, because I get really cold sometimes, I will get into bed and I'll be fully tucked. I'll have like my socks on because I'm so cold.
Never
but
socks.
No, because I'm so cold until I get warm, and then I have to like kick them off in the middle of the night or take them off.
Shed.
Yeah. But then I also like
the demons are gonna get your feet at night and they're gonna start picking off your toes one by one.
At least it's not the leprechauns eating my eyeballs
like olives.
Yeah. I guess my feet will get eaten by demons.
That is so wrong.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
I hate it.
It's how I live my life.
It was reported that a common occurrence would be banging doors and disembodied voices and screams throughout the house. Can you imagine just living with that every day?
I think that's the part where it's like that would weigh on you mentally so much when you're having it
constantly. Yeah. One night while the girls were getting ready for bed, they heard a voice tell them that there were 7 dead soldiers buried in the walls of the home. The girls became friends with one of the dead soldiers. Also around 5:15, it seems to be that 5:15 in the morning time, they would often wake up to the sound of a small boy crying for his mom.
That's hard. I feel like 5:15 is like, that's morning. That should, like, I feel like fucked up shit should happen at like 3 a.m., not 5:15.
5:15, let's get up. Let's go. Why haven't we been up already? Well, cup of coffee, maybe go for a run by then.
Yeah, okay, that's just slow your roll. I'm like, I'll get up and I'll get a cup of coffee, maybe answer some emails, just depending on what I'm doing, do some writing in my journal, not fucking running. Oh God,
that's the best way to wake up. You just get pumping.
I like to keep my kneecaps in the right spot on my legs, so if I don't run,
you do you, boo.
I know we are very opposite guys.
That's fine.
But we know this.
Yeah.
But it is still either way. 5:15 is not.
5:15 is
it's not scary.
Early, but it's not. Yeah, it's not.
It's not scary.
Like here, where we are in Washington, it gets light. Starts getting light around 4:30.
Yeah. Like I was up at 4:45 this morning. Like
and it's
I
already
woke up,
light.
It was already light. Like I let the dog out and Jandy's out, and was like, "Well, you're fine. Just come back in when you want."
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's like super, and it's light out until like 10 o'clock. Like it is almost 8 o'clock now. And
But
it's
we
still
are
bright.
close to Alaska over here, so it's like, or ish.
Yeah, when I was in Florida, it's very much more like even.
Yeah,
like
we are definitely in the area where we get.
We have swings, but in the wintertime, it's dark at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it stays dark until 7:45 in the morning.
At least.
Yeah,
it's almost 8:30.
Almost 8,
Yeah, because when we drop the kids off at school, it's just getting light sometimes. Yeah.
Crazy, but
Wild.
I like it.
I honestly, I do like it
do.
too. It puts you in the mood for those seasons. Like right now,
Yeah.
the only thing I don't love is my photography. Like when we do golden hour is like the first or the last hour of the day, and then it's like me photographing at like 8:30 at night, and I'm
or
like
opposite.
well, I don't do the morning, but
Well, no, I mean like in the wintertime,
but
like
it's
at
usually,
4.
That's usually raining, so we're not
That's
doing that
true.
anyways.
That's a
But
fair point.
But I can't be photographing that late. That's my bedtime. It's about there.
So now things started getting a little bit worse.
A little creepy.
Carolyn and Roger said in an article that they were once woken up by an apparition who was beside their bed. All they saw was a head of an old woman hanging off to the side of the bed, and they heard mumbling, quote, get out, I'll drive you out with death. All of these occurrences would make anyone run, but they lived with it. There was one spirit, however, that the family said made all the other experiences seem like nothing. Andrea Perron, the daughter, who is very vocal about their experiences within the home, has written several books, and she still refuses to speak in detail about this one particular entity. Her only comment on the entity is, quote, trigger warning, let's just say there was a very bad male spirit in the home with 5 little girls. Yeah. That makes you, like, there's so many thoughts. There's so many different thoughts with that.
For them to also just, like, not want to speak about it, like, is number one, that means that it still scars her to this day, whatever it did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's there's just, anyway, so that's talking about more of the more nefarious spirits and, like, the bad things. And then there's another infamous spirit of the house, and that is known as Bathsheba. In Andrea Perron's book, on her account of the experiences, she talks about Bathsheba in great detail. Bathsheba Thayer was born in Rhode Island in 1812. In her early 30s, she married Judson Sherman and gave birth to at least one known son whose name was Herman. Bathsheba and Judson were believed to have 3 other children, all of whom died at a very young age, which was pretty common. At the time, unfortunately. That's not really an uncommon thing to hear. They were very real people. These people were Bathsheba and Judson were very real people. There are records of them. What has been gathered from public records say that Bathsheba and Judson Sherman lived in the old Arnold estate, both dying in the 1880s, and their son living until 1903. There is a story of their life that is pretty dark and that is said to take place within the home. It is said that Bathsheba was in the care of an infant, and that infant was said to have been found dead in the basement with an incision in the back of the head leading to the cause of death. The neighbors instantly accused Bathsheba of being a witch and causing this death. This happened all the time with women.
Right.
Especially women who are associated with tragedy, or primarily women that other women were jealous of. That was also a big thing that we have seen in a lot of our stories.
Yes.
The neighbors were said to be envious of Bathsheba because she was so beautiful, had the Arnold estate, and had a caring and loving husband. Obviously, you're a witch!
Obviously. You're up there trying to fuck shit up for everyone else.
Because you're living your life and you have a loving and caring spouse.
I feel like that is even to this day, like girls who are
mean girls.
Well, but girls who are pretty, but are like, are quiet or more reserved.
Yeah.
Automatically a bitch. I'm looking at one.
You said pretty, so I didn't really.
She won't compliment herself. I will compliment. Meg is a very beautiful woman, but she also can Give the resting bitch face of a lifetime.
It's called RBF. I can't help
Yeah,
it.
but
I was born this way.
My oldest sister, Shannon, too, is also, she's gorgeous.
She is gorgeous.
Sweetest, nicest, friendliest.
Seriously. Although I said she couldn't come to our little get together after school.
She's so offended.
She's so I'm joking, Shannon.
No.
I'm joking.
And
She said, can Shannon come? I said, no, I hate her.
And she said, suck a dick, I'm coming anyways. Just kidding. I didn't even, she's coming no matter
Sounds
what.
about right.
That's my sister, so just like me. Just kidding, not as bad. But yeah, but you guys are similar in that way that you guys both without knowing you guys have the fucking solid resting bitch face without trying to, and you.
I feel like Shannon and I are very similar in a lot of ways.
You guys are, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you guys need me.
I feel like we would be pretty good friends.
Fuck off. Stop trying to steal my sister or my friends or anything.
She said the same thing to you.
I know, but it's true. We have a bunch of mutual friends, which I'm not mad about because we are very close. So, it's easier that way.
I'll take you both. It's fine.
I'm the cooler one, but whatever.
The courts found Bathsheba not guilty of infanticide, but the incident followed her for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
People in the town not only believed that she had killed the child, but that she had sacrificed the child to the devil in exchange for eternal beauty. Obviously, if she's pretty, she must have done that.
That's so sad.
It really is. The rumors grew, claiming that she had sacrificed her other 3 children that died in infancy. So that's not great. That's not great to follow you around.
No.
Rumors spread about Bathsheba, making her out to be a sadistic Satan worshiper and a witch. It was said that when she died, her body turned to stone, which is part of Satan's price for granting her beauty. While Bathsheba was a beautiful and vibrant woman, it is said that by the time of her death, she was filled with hate, bitterness, and rage. Duh.
Well, if all your kids died from something.
That, and then the town basically crucified you for your entire life and made you an outcast and said you did all these horrible things.
Yeah, I think in that
messes with you.
Well, oh, for sure. And in that situation, when obviously there's 2 sides to every story. Maybe she was a messed up person and the infants died for something, whatever. But back then, they did not have the kind of medical testing that we have. There could be a genealogical problem.
That's very true. That is a good point.
I know a lot of people who have had that where they've had a miscarriage at some point and then they find out that genetically, no matter what, they have to go through IVF because if it's a certain thing, they won't be able to have a baby. And so that's also a thing where, if she has a certain gene or the baby does or something and
they had no way to know back then.
And they had no way to know.
Plus, you're in a time and age where a lot of babies didn't make it.
Yeah.
It's just, it is
and
what
a lot of women are accused of witchcraft, no matter what.
No matter what. You could, you make the neighbor's wife angry and all of a sudden you're a witch.
I was definitely a witch.
In a past life?
Or in current, but more past life.
Well, I mean, look at the Salem witch trials. It was a few little girls who my kids are related to, who didn't like the nanny at the time, and they started this whole horrible thing.
Yeah,
it was just I don't like this person.
It's one of those things that I nail into my children's head that words have so much more power than what you realize, and obviously in this day and age, it's less as much, but that's
you have to be so careful.
You have to be mindful of what you say about people in any capacity because
words are words. It's the intention that matters, and it's that can follow people
for the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm.
And,
so Bathsheba was tormented throughout her adult life. Of course, she was extremely pissed off, and even after she died, the rumors continued, which is said to anger the spirit of Bathsheba. Also, what name?
It is
Bathsheba.
I mean, what was she named after? That's an interesting one.
I don't know, but it reminds me of the spider in Hobbit.
No idea.
Okay.
We know this.
Yeah, I stopped it as soon as I started saying
Bathsheba.
it. In retaliation, the spirit would, and in some cases still does, torment everyone that it comes in contact with. The parents said that Bathsheba would move things around and make things disappear, specifically aiming this at the children and their toys.
Okay.
It would take things from them.
Okay.
Bathsheba was said to really hate Carolyn, the girl's mother. She was obsessed with Roger, the father. This is the spirit that was obsessed with the father and hated Carolyn because it was said that she thought Carolyn was the mistress in the house, the other woman.
So she was the main.
She was the woman of the house, which means Roger was the man of the house. And she wanted Roger to herself. Roger, on the other hand, would only get the good parts of Bathsheba. The spirit would lay down with him and caress him or scratch his back, and he couldn't understand why his wife hated her so much.
Weird.
And this made Carolyn feel like she was going crazy.
Oh, I'm
like
sure.
It was a constant torment because, like, am I going crazy? Like, he's saying that this is fine, but this is not fine.
Like he's not seeing the side of it that I'm getting. He's getting,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Are you jealous of a ghost? Obviously.
There's a story told that Carolyn was sitting in the living room and felt a sharp pain in her leg. She looked down and saw a large puncture wound with blood oozing down her leg. It's as if a large needle speared her leg.
Oh my God.
Even more, it is said that Bathsheba would attempt to possess Carolyn's body in order to be close to Roger. And it became so bad, and Carolyn was constantly on edge and seemingly just completely tormented in her mind all the time. Which, you know, when we're stressed out, like, that bleeds into all of our other lives. And she's a mother of 5 children, 5 little girls. That's more than us.
That's your mental is...
Like, you're already, and then add all of this to the mix.
My grandmother on my dad's side, so she had 4, so my real dad, 4 kids under the age of 3, and none of them were twins.
Jesus.
Add that up. Make that make sense. Because it happened, and it's real life.
That's crazy. She was pregnant for 3 years straight.
Like, so my dad was the youngest, and him and his and my uncle they're 10 months apart.
No, thank you. I thought 17 months apart was a lot.
Well, yeah, that's what we have is 17 months between. But think about that, and that's like all of her kids. Like, and I
have 4 kids, but my oldest was 8. The three were born. The first 2 are 2 years apart, then 17 months apart. But then between that one and my youngest, it's almost 5 years.
Yeah,
4.5 years.
Yeah, and my oldest 2 are 17 months apart, and then the oldest to the youngest was again was just a little over 5 years for those. My sister Shanna, we were just talking about, we're 13 months apart to the day.
That's even insane. That's even insane.
It was my poor mother.
Robin, what were you thinking? The activity became so much that the Perron family became exhausted trying to live with it, which they did for quite a while. So they reached out for help.
I know where this is going. Her favorite people.
Unfortunately, they reached out to the dickwad, Ed and Lorraine Warren.
You guys, she's an angry elf.
I'm going to talk about Ed and Lorraine Warren. I'm going to give a little brief synopsis about Ed and Lorraine Warren. And I'm going to be frank with my feelings about Ed and Lorraine Warren. And then I don't want to mention them again in any significance on this podcast. We are going to have stories that they come into contact with because they have a lot to do with paranormal events in the late 1900s of American history and even other places. However, I hate them with every fiber of my being. And I hated them. I had this thing with them before I even knew the nitty gritty. I remember when I learned the nitty gritty, I called you. I'm like, I knew there was a reason. Here we go. Okay. Ed and Lorraine Warren are the most famous paranormal investigators in the world. He was a self-proclaimed demonologist. I'm pretty sure you have to go to some sort of schooling for that, primarily within the Catholic Church. But whatever.
Dildo Baggins is one too, so who knows?
Whatever. So the movie franchises, the Conjuring franchise, portrays Ed and Lorraine Warren in a fun, loving light. They're very in love, blah, blah, blah. They were the opposite. In 1952, Ed and Lorraine Warren founded the New England Society for Psychic Research, which is the oldest ghost hunting / paranormal investigating group in New England. We've seen these douchebags before. They were in the Snedeker family, which we've covered, Amityville, the Enfield poltergeist.
They're a lot.
They're in a lot.
Famous hauntings they would find their way in fast.
Yeah, and there's some lesser known ones that I'm going to go over that they still put their bad mark on. Lorraine was a self-proclaimed clairvoyant, and trans medium, and she would go into a house and get a feel for it. There's no disrespect for that. I feel like you and I can both do the same thing.
1000%, yeah.
Like, I have no disrespect for that. It's just the other things that come along with it that I'm just like, go fly a kite. Ed and Lorraine were Roman Catholic, and they believed that demonic forces were likely to possess those who lacked faith. There's a lot of criticism of the Warrens, and a lot of people thought that they were completely full of shit. And
you can't hear that normally.
Oh, you can't? Okay. There's a lot of people that said that they were completely full of shit, but they had their hands in enough of the paranormal world that everybody within this realm knows who they are.
Yes.
In 2007, I'm going to put this out there because I'm going to put them on blast every chance I get. One,
Go
they are full of shit. Some of the interviews that they've had, some of the things that they said, they are completely making a mockery of the paranormal world. They did it for fame.
They would like tell people to exaggerate shit for money, for fame. Like there were some real things that they did investigate, but then they would also like.
It makes a mockery of what we believe in. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
So in 2017, a woman, her name's out there. I'm not going to say it. It's not worth it. You can go look it up if you want. She came forward claiming that she had a 40-year sexual relationship with Ed Warren, starting when she was 15 years old. 15 years old. This douchebag had her in his house, moved her in. Lorraine knew about it, accepted it, was okay with it, and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. She stated that she became pregnant and Lorraine talked her into having an abortion in order to avoid a public scandal because it could have ruined their business.
Shoot.
The woman also stated that the couple was physically abusive to each other, to her. And when Lorraine was alive when the Conjuring stuff like the movies came about, and she was actually on set for it, and people said she was wonderful. And I don't know, I've never met her, but
she could have been on her own, and
she could have been. Who knows? When creating the contract for the Conjuring movies, Lorraine had it written into the contract that she and Ed could not be portrayed having sex with each other in any of the movies. They could not be portrayed engaging in extramarital affairs or engaging in crimes like sex with a minor. Weird.
Why would you put that in there?
So I'm going to just put that out there because not many people know that story of the Warrens. Like, I've known of the Warrens for a long time, and I just learned about this not too long ago.
Yeah. It's not good.
And they can just, like I said,
fly a kite.
Go fly a kite. Anyways, the Perrons, I don't get this passionate about things often.
No, you don't.
I really don't. I'm pretty even keeled and I like understand. But the Warrens, I've always had something that just was like an ick.
You didn't love them before you knew this information. You felt like they were full of bullshit, all of that. And then you found out this and it really just like.
I hate them.
Yeah.
So I told the story. We all know how, crappy they are. And they might come up now and then, but I'm not going to give them any capacity.
I agree.
Boom.
But I feel like
done.
It's warranted to say what you know.
Yeah, say what you know. This is stuff that happened. The person who unfortunately was a victim to Ed and Lorraine Warren deserves to have her voice heard and for the world to know what monsters they were. So the parents called them. Lorraine walked into the house and immediately said that she sensed an evil presence of a witch named Bathsheba.
Did she already know? Though?
Obviously. You're not just going to pull that name out of your ass.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Unless you're like a really good medium. That does happen. But I don't think she was a really good medium.
Bathsheba. Like,
well, but that's true.
That's a pretty precise name.
It's a very bizarre name.
Right. It's not a common name. It's not like Mary or Elizabeth, something like that.
True.
Lorraine pointed to the cut on Carolyn's leg and told her that was the cut from Bathsheba, saying it was the wound that was the same shape as the one she used to murder the infant centuries before. So it sounds like Lorraine did some research beforehand. Lorraine said that Bathsheba actually did commit the horrible crime and was, in fact, a witch. Because remember, she had been found not guilty.
Yeah.
Ed and Lorraine said that the house was, quote, infested with demons and that those who inhabited the house were in danger. Every time we have had Ed and Lorraine come on, they say the word infested.
Yeah, they say everything's infested. It's
infested
demonic
with demons. And it's always because the people weren't religious enough.
Yep.
or weren't whatever.
Weren't something enough.
Right.
Yeah.
The Warrens said, here we go, that because the Perrons were not religious, they could not perform an exorcism. Because that would matter.
But who needs an exorcism? No one was possessed.
No one was possessed, but they wanted to get it out of the house. They did, however, perform a seance to try to clear the house, and this took place in the cellar of the house.
Yes.
However, it backfired. They had intended on cleansing the house, which we both believe in.
1,000%.
I believe that. I don't know if I would actually do a seance to do that, but that's not something that I'm familiar with. That's not something I know anything about.
No, but get some good incense and go around your house and open the windows and tell everything negative to leave, and only things of love and light can stay.
Right.
That's a good house cleansing right there.
Right. But this backfired, and Carolyn ended up being possessed by Bathsheba and thrown 20 feet across the basement floor. Big-ass basement.
That's a big-ass basement.
Right?
Also, that's a lot of power to throw someone 20 feet.
20 feet.
Was it more than Ed and Lorraine Warren who witnessed this?
That's up for debate. It
Okay.
said that the parents were all down there and did see it. It's at this point, it said that something happened and Bathsheba unleashed herself and other spirits in the house, creating a true infestation. Roger kicked the Warrens out of the house. He was worried that they really affected his wife's mental stability. That's what did it.
I mean, sure it was them.
Lorraine, until her death, claimed to be traumatized by the whole Arnold estate. She was quoted saying, "The things that went on there were just so incredibly frightening. It still affects me to talk about."
Can I just give a perspective?
Yes.
It's not a good one, but also just we don't love them.
No.
And I get that.
No. I have a little bit more empathy for Lorraine.
That's what I'm saying is
Yeah.
what if he was like a narcissistic abuser?
Oh, he absolutely was. Have you ever heard that douchebag talk?
No, I haven't. I've never gone into them. I hear from you, but
he sounds. I can't even try to talk like he talks right now.
It's the abused woman thing, and I have empathy for that. At the end of the day, I'm not one. Never been one.
A little bit.
A little bit. One of the stories is that I just wonder how much she was in this whole thing of trying to save face.
Yeah.
It was all she ever knew.
Yeah.
He had some sort of a thing on her, obviously.
Yeah, he has control of sorts.
Not to say that she's, people leave all the time and figure it out and do whatever.
Yeah, but it's not that easy.
Not that
we
easy.
know that.
So anyways, that's just my little... But for her to say that this fucked her up until she died, to stand by it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people in their elder years do eventually be like...
But she was also making a shit ton of money on the Conjuring movies. Because she
Well.
was working on set.
Okay. Well,
There's another tidbit. Who knows?
who knows?
The Warrens failed to cleanse the house, but the parents still didn't leave. They had some financial difficulties, so they were forced to remain in the home for years, living alongside the apparent demonic forces and evil spirits.
Wild. I was wondering why they didn't move, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
You can't afford to move.
Yeah,
You're not. I
you
mean,
can't
that's
afford to
literally
move.
what are you going to do?
Right. The parents sold the home in 1980 to Norma Sutcliffe, and the hauntings apparently stopped after that. The Conjuring movie was released in 2013, and those were based off of a lot of Andrea Perron's books. So that was in 2013, and that caused people to flock to the homes. Norma made a response to the movie's claims. She researched the town's records and spoke to other people who had lived in the house before the Perrons, and she found out that the supposed suicides and murders linked to the farmhouse didn't happen on the property itself, but rather on surrounding properties. The young boy who was said to have hanged himself actually did so down the road. The 11-year-old girl, Prudence Arnold, who was murdered, it didn't happen on the property, but the one right next door. And even Mrs. Arnold, who haunted the home, who was said to, we're not sure when her throat was slit, if she did it herself or if she was murdered. They weren't sure if that happened on the property or not.
Okay.
The trial of Bathsheba Sherman was also up for questioning. There was no record of the trial ever taking place. However, we do know that she was a real person, and she's buried in the town in a Baptist cemetery. And there is record of her funeral having a eulogy given by a Baptist minister, which was also... There's record of her funeral having a eulogy given by a Baptist minister, and she was buried on hallowed ground. If she was a witch, or if she was... accused of infanticide, she would have never been given a proper burial.
1,000%. No.
So that kind of...
Interesting.
So while Bathsheba was a real person,
Okay.
we don't know about any of that other stuff. Norma states that she never saw a ghost while living in the home. In 2005, Ghost Hunters TV show came to investigate the home, and they reported several cold spots and doors opening and closing on their own, and this surprised Norma. However, Andrea Perron and the Perron family stick by their story and confirm that the hauntings did occur.
I have seen a documentary, now that I say this, where she went back to the home. I have seen...
Oh, you have?
Mhm, I have.
Oh, I'd
I've
like to see
seen
that.
something where she went back to the house. Don't remember what, where, when, or how, but I do recall seeing something where one of the parent children went back to the house and investigated.
It would have been Andrea.
Yeah.
It would have been her. But there's the question of, did these hauntings, was it on the property or did it follow the family?
1,000%.
Was the family more susceptible?
Yeah.
For some reason?
Or were there things going on that we do not know about?
know about.
We have encountered that where people are actually like...
Well, it's like in Amityville, the father was actually like performing rituals and stuff in the house.
And he was like involved in the occult, but no one knew.
Right.
I want to say, because one of the only paranormal shows that I really watch is the one with Amy Rooney and that.
Amy Bruni.
That one. I want to say it was that show that I...
Oh, it could have been.
That,
it could have been.
I mean,
Kindred Spirits. They live over there, so
I want to say that was it because I don't typically like.
Speaking of them, don't you just love Adam Berry?
I mean, I love Adam
just
Berry.
love him.
I also love the little psychic white-haired man that goes with him, like that.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something coffee.
Yeah.
George.
No.
Something
No.
coffee.
Something coffee. I just love Adam Berry. Though.
Yeah.
Like when we were doing an event with them, he was just so kind and so just bubbly and so talkative and
Like,
so welcoming. And
how you met him was how you saw him on TV. Who
exactly.
he was. Yeah.
He was, because a lot of people you meet that you see on TV or you hear or whatever, and you meet them and you're like, oh, maybe I should
Chip coffee.
Chip coffee. That's it. That's it.
It was going.
Yeah, you were still working on it. You were still working on it.
Whereas like, the other character on the show maybe wasn't as who you thought.
And that's fine. It's fine. It is what it is. But Adam Berry was just a delight.
Yeah.
Just a delight.
I mean, that's happy to hear it.
Yeah. He was just I would go to an event just to see him, honestly.
Good to know.
Because he was just so
Chipper. Got to meet them at a investigation she did with her mother-in-law at the George Washington Hotel.
Just Washington Hotel.
That's what I said. Close enough.
It was fun. If they ever come here, we should really go.
I would love
that would be fun. They sometimes do the cruise. They do the Kindred Spirit or the
Alaskan.
They do the Alaskan cruise, which is it's like a paranormal thing. That would be really fun.
That would be so much fun. That was my first job,
What?
I told you this.
No.
I've said this on the podcast before. I'm pretty positive. Yes, because I told the story of Sylvia Brown, that psychic. Went on.
Yeah.
My friend walked her to her room. But my first ever job in high school, I was checked people in for the Norwegian cruise line going up to Alaska. I worked down at the pier. I was like 16 and it was fun.
That's cool.
I mean, I got paid like $7.50 an hour. Really
my first job was at Putt mini golf.
Oh, nice. Yeah, mine was all the way in fucking Seattle. It was like a fucking
That's a really cool first job.
Not so much.
Oh.
People got big mad at you all the time. Like, you think about when anything's delayed, if a line takes too long, if whatever. It
Obviously
gave me a very big appreciation for, like, never wanting to actually work in customer service.
I mean, fair.
That was my first time that I was like, I never want to be a customer service person in any capacity. And like then my mom and sister are flight attendants. And I was like, fuck no. Cause I did that for a while. And I just, as a 16-year-old getting screamed at by like full grown adults. And you're like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
When I was 20, I worked for the TSA.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. You want to talk about getting screamed at?
Oh, I believe that. I believe it. No,
oh my God.
Travel industry is rough.
It's rough.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the Perron family. I think that the family itself has something going on that made them more susceptible to this. However, I do think there's stuff that goes on at the house. I do not think it is I think the whole story of Bathsheba is
bullshit.
False.
Yeah.
I think that Bathsheba was a real person, and I think that Lorraine maybe created that
like made her into like this more monstrous kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes.
But I do feel like I've seen enough things, or like listening to Andrea, one of the children talk, like when I saw, like, I do believe that they experienced some shit there, and
I do
but
too.
They didn't leave and then continue to experience stuff.
That's true.
And I do think that there is also, like, we know this, that we've gone to some super haunted places. We've talked about haunted places, and some people who like just absolutely don't believe in it don't see it.
That's true too.
So
because some people are just closed off to it. I do feel that if we were to go to the house, my mother-in-law has gone and investigated the house, and I think she would agree with that it's not all it's cracked up to be.
I think that I've heard that a lot, that it's not as much as what they said, but like, again, could be a number of reasons.
I still think it's haunted, even if it's just every place is haunted. But yeah, just even if it's just the people that go to this location that are in our realm, you know, that are in our world of paranormal, they could be bringing things to that space that not necessarily have to do with any of the spirits we talked about tonight, but are just,
if you really want to go into it, which is like, I'll give a brief, that like your vibration itself that you give off attracts certain things.
Yeah.
Like, and if you're sitting at a low vibration, which is like fear, that kind of stuff, you will attract things more to you than
100%.
So in a sense, so maybe that's part of it too. I think there's so many factors that could actually play into it. I don't know.
At end of the day, would you go to the Conjuring house?
I would go with you. I don't think I'd spend the night there.
I don't think I'd spend the night there either. Honestly,
that was like, these girls, this other podcast, they did it, and I remember the one story they told was like they would not go to the bathroom alone. They would make each other go with each other. And Meg is an absolute will not go to the bathroom with you. She's not one of those girls who like will go to the bathroom.
I didn't know this was a thing until like a year ago. That's what girls do.
Like 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
And she was like, it's the most uncomfortable thing in my life when someone, like, when I made her go with me into the bathroom when we were in a very sketchy
We were
part
in
of
a
town.
not great place at Dick's Burgers.
And I was like, I am not standing outside by myself. I will turn my back to you and I will stare at the corner of the wall, motherfucker, but I am not standing out here by myself. And she said it was one of the most uncomfortable moments of her life.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
No, it's not.
Bullshit.
No, it's not. I don't want... No.
She's not one of those, like, I was in a sorority. Y'all pee together. Do everything.
No, absolutely not.
It's still,
absolutely not.
I was like, we all go to the bathroom at the same time.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
I don't give a fuck. I've peed in a bathroom, but like at a club where a stranger comes in with me who you met in line and you're like, oh, let's go pee together. Oh, yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it.
I mean, it's life.
I don't like it at all.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, it's like,
well,
men and, like,
I
when they
would,
cross
you know
swords.
what? If, oh, Lord, why? Raina?
It's because it's who I am.
If we were in the Conjuring house and we were there in the middle of the night, like 1 o'clock in the morning, I would probably have you come stand at the door. If I had to
Don't
pee.
give a fuck. I would be in there with you and you could, I don't care. I don't give a fuck how uncomfortable you are. I'm not doing it. They also said that it was like mirrors facing each other. Lots of
that
mirrors.
I don't like.
Well, that's a portal.
Yeah.
That is like never have mirrors facing each other because that is like your sign up for a portal.
And it goes on forever. Like you can
exactly.
See it going
And so
forever.
that was the thing when they were talking about it. That fucked. Like she said that when you sat down to pee, there was a mirror right in front of you. But then
why?
That's nobody wants to. Why?
No, why?
It's like check your makeup while you're peeing. I mean, maybe for guys, maybe what took them so long to
they check themselves out while they're peeing.
No pooping. It takes them so long, anyways.
It does. What is with that?
Who the fuck knows? But then there was a mirror like. That was to the side, but behind, but it was like that reflection that just kept going.
I don't like
and
that.
that is a portal no matter what. Like that's a portal for things. So don't ever put mirrors facing each other, y'all.
Also, this house was built in the 1700s.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be stuff.
Everywhere.
There's going to be, I mean, there's stuff probably walking down the street.
Well, there is everywhere.
Like everywhere there's something.
Even if you're in a new build, it's like what was there before. There is energy. And also like you pick up energy as a person. You pick up I think the thing is people don't like to realize how much something being haunted, it just depends on like how active that specific spirit decides to be.
Yeah.
And how much you're able to see it or connect with it.
When I'm dead, I really want to haunt people.
I hope the fuck I'm not back on this earth. Sorry. Yeah. Don't give a fuck enough.
If I have to be here, I'm going to mess with you.
If I'm going to be here, I'm going to give like the people I love like happy signs. But
and then I'm going to find you.
I'll drop in and out briefly.
And I'm going to...
Come at me, bro.
Come at me, bro. No, I'll just go to dildo Baggins.
Are you going to tickle my feet while I'm sleeping?
Yes. Yes, that's how you know it's me. I'm gonna fuck with your feet while you're
realize
sleeping.
that now I'm going to be fucked up when I sleep with my feet out. I mean, it does bother me a little bit.
Why would you do that?
Because it's how I'm comfortable. But it's only when I sleep on my stomach.
Vulnerable.
I sleep on my stomach and then my feet.
Yeah, but you're even more vulnerable in that position.
I know. But then if I'm like on my back, my feet don't have to be out, like sticking out of the bed. They just have to be out of the covers. Sometimes. Just depends.
Wait, you're out of the bed. You're out of the covers and off the bed, like leaning off the bed. What about the demons that coming out of the bed in the middle of the night?
Absolutely not. They're not playing with sets of balls. It's my feet. When I'm sleeping on my stomach, my feet have to sit. They have to be like off the edge of the bed and uncovered. All right. Well, I don't know. Let us know what you think. Do you think it's real? Do you think I think it's real. I think it's real.
I think it's real. I think the experiences are real. I don't buy anything that the Warrens say. I do think that the Perron family had real experiences.
I think that the Warrens really dramatized it and then sold it to a TV network. And then that's why everyone thinks it's as bad as it
I don't think it's as bad as it is, but I would go.
1,000%.
I would go. We'll meet our friends from Sisters Brew over there, and we'll all go spend the night. Not really. We'll go there for an evening, and then go to a hotel.
Yeah.
And
I'll go there till like 3 a.m. I don't want to be there at 5:15.
No, 5:15.
Nope, I'm good on that one.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to make it till 3 a.m. if I'm being honest. 1. I'll make it till 1.
All right.
So if you have a fun story or a haunting that you want us to cover, please write us in at lunaticsoupodcast@gmail.com.
And again, we're going to be at the Haunted Farmers Market in Tacoma, Washington on July 20th. Ready to hear your paranormal stories, cryptids, hauntings,
aliens.
Anything that you feel like we need to know.
Woo-woo stuff.
Dirty jokes. Even if you just want to give us a joke on air, we'll take it.
You just want to come and say hi and give us a high five. We'll take that.
We'll take all the things.
Cider suggestions.
Cider suggestions. Mm-hmm. We'll also take those. But you can check us out at Lunatic Soup Podcast on all the social medias.
And the YouTubes.
Watch us be crazy. Watch the beginning of this clip because I'm pretty sure we caught something on here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you really want to see it, go to the YouTubes. And
remember, in this crazy world,
it's good to be a lunatic.
Bye.
Bye.